Alright, so we're going to pick up where we left off from our last demonstration. What I did was I already created the first mag cover publishing document, saved it to my mod tech folder. I'll just show you where that is real quick. Created a desktop publishing folder within my modular tech folder, and there is my first magazine cover. Alright, so it's really important to make sure you name things correctly. In other words, you don't want to just call it stuff or, you know, my project. You want to call it what it is. It's your first magazine cover, or first mag cover for short. Alright, so I've got my photo in here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take us back to Blackboard, and I'm going to show you how to create some of this text and some colored boxes. So what you're going to end up doing, I'm going to go back to the written instructions of creating your first mag cover. Go ahead and click open. And this Word document gives me some screenshots. This is the first one I showed you to get your setup correct. So the reason I'm bringing this up is this this look right here, this magazine cover, that's what I want you to recreate. You're going to get graded based on how well you recreate this. It's just a quick little exercise to get you started and make sure you figure out how this thing works. So what I did there, let me just kind of walk you through this. There's three buttons up here. There's a left one that's minimize. The center one is called restore down, and there we go. And then this one is of course close. If I hit the restore down button, you can see that that window automatically shrinks. And what's neat about it is you can click and just move the corner and resize it. So I'm going to go ahead and do just that, and I'm going to move this little scroll bar over so I can see that TechEd Monthly final product there, a screenshot of it at least. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the first mag cover publishing document, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. Go to restore down, and I'm going to make sure I have this small enough so it'll fit next to this window, and I'm going to scroll over to kind of center that up. Now there are zoom in and zoom out buttons as well. I can zoom out and zoom in, which is nice. And one of the other things I really like to do, because I'm big into keyboard shortcuts, if I hold down the control key on my keyboard and use the scroll button on the middle of my mouse, I scroll back holding control, I zoom out. If I hold down control and scroll forward, you can see that I scroll forward and it zooms in. So that's kind of a nice feature. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just create a couple of quick text boxes. So I'm going to create this text box. I'll click and drag up here, and I'm going to go in all capital letters TechEd. So I'm going to try to recreate this box right here for you. So what I'm going to do is highlight it, and I love using these increase and decrease font size buttons. Just go ahead and click increase font size a couple times, and you can see it very quickly makes that bigger. I'm going to go ahead and open that box up. That's way better than just clicking up here, entering in a number, and going through that tedious process. So this looks a lot better. I always like to also do a lot of my text editing work off the page. So you can see there's a whole big area around here that I can go ahead and edit. So I'm going to go ahead and control scroll. I'm going to get a little bit closer to that. Now, it's pretty obvious that this font is different. Everybody always asks me on this project, well, how do I make that font? Well, that's part of the exercise. I'll give you a little hint here. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. I'm going to go ahead and drop down my window of fonts, and as I scroll up and down, I'm looking for something that looks really similar to that. It's kind of like a little treasure hunt or something. You're trying to figure out which way to go with this. I can tell you that it's definitely in here, and let me see if I can locate it. Let's try this one. No, that's not it right there. Okay. Copperplate Gothic. I'm just scrolling with my mouse wheel while I go down this. So as you can see, I'm scrolling down here and I'm looking back and forth, and I find Rockwell Extra Bold. Hey, that looks a little bit better. Okay, if you notice the T drops like that. Now, that's the Extra Bold. Let's see, is there a regular Rockwell? Let's scroll down here. We'll go down to the R's. There's Rockwell Condensed. How about just Rockwell? Nope, that's too much. Too thin. That's actually pretty close right there. But I'm going to go with the Extra Bold. And what's nice is the recent ones you used are up at the top. Okay, so now I'm going to go Tech, and I'm going to open this up for Ed. Okay, that looks good. Now, I'm going to highlight this and change the color. Here's my text color right here, or font color. I'm going to make it that kind of golden color. You might want to go a little lighter if you do that. Go to more colors, and of course we have the color palette here. Let's try this a little more yellow. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to go ahead, actually it probably was that original color more I look at it. So let's go back there and we'll make it more of that kind of goldenrod color. Now, if you look closely, the T and the E are bigger than the other letters. So I'm going to highlight this. I see that's 72, so I'm going to knock that down to about 65. Maybe a little bit smaller, about 60. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to make this one 60 as well. And that's a pretty good look. Now, I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to close this up a little bit. Zoom out a little bit for you. And I'm going to click and drag this right in here. Okay. Now, if for some reason that your text doesn't show up on your picture, I'm going to do something real quick. Let's say your text shows up like that. And you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? The picture is covering up my my text. Well, what you need to do is you need to change the order, and that's what I did real quick. If you right-click on your picture and go to order, you want to send that to the back. So you're going to send it to the very back of anything that would lay over it. It's a little neat tip for you. And now I can use my arrow key to go back and forth and kind of match that up. Okay, now everybody's always asked me as well, besides text, how do I create these boxes? So what's neat is you can create a text box, and I'm just going to type in this issue, ... I'll blow it up a little bit. And there's my increased font size. Alright. And that's going to be something like this, I believe. There we go. Yeah, let's try that again. There we go. Alright. If I just change this, use it like this, it's not a very good contrast. You don't want dark text against this kind of background. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and change the color. I'm going to knock this down as far as size a little bit. It's pretty good there. And bring that in. Okay. So if I want to fill this up with some color, I can go fill color and fill that up. And then I can also, of course, change my font color like so. And that brings us in like that. Okay. So that's how you color up a box. And then it's just a matter of matching fonts and sizes and making this one on the right look just like the one on the left.